Hi, I'm Hillary. Welcome to Teaching Moments. Today I'm going to review a Drive Thru History DVD that I did with my two older children this year for American history. So as some of you may know, I have 4 kids and they all have dyslexia. We're using the Barton reading program to help them learn how to read and spell. Now this is kind of an intense program. You have to be consistent with it. And it requires a lot of time and energy, but it is totally worth it because my kids are reading and they're spelling and they're gaining confidence in it. So it is absolutely worth it to me. I do have a review on the Barton reading program as one of my first videos if you want to go check that out. So I needed to conserve some time and energy though, since I was spending so much time in the Barton reading, that I decided to, for the other subjects, to try to group my kids together if I could. So that was another reason why I decided to go with this DVD. Also because my junior in high school has learned many times, heard many times about the American history. And so I wanted to give her a different perspective on it and just kind of switch things up a little bit. So that's another reason why we chose a DVD. Also, for dyslexic children, hearing their lessons to being read to them or just oral learning really works well for them. So a DVD is a good option. So for history this year, I chose the Drive Thru History, which used to have a jacket on it, but I since lost it. It is the America Columbus Through the Constitution DVD. So in this DVD, you get, it's actually 2 DVDs. There's 12 episodes and they each last about a half an hour. There's also a booklet in there. Now this booklet used to be attached, but every time I would open this up, the pages of the book would start to fall out. So I had somebody remove the book for me because I was just trying to preserve it and try to bind it for me. They did kind of a bad job binding it, so that didn't work out as well as I had hoped, but I did get to save the pages a little bit. My husband called and told the company about how the pages were falling out, and their customer service was really good. They were absolutely willing to work with us, and they gave us a couple of options to help us out. So it's always good to have customer service when you're gonna buy something from a company. But I was able to sort of save this book, and inside of it, you'll see the names of the episodes, what it's about. And then for each episode, there is a summary of the episode. Then on the next page, there are some discussion questions. And there is a little bit extra information for you. And then last, they have a painting that deals with the era that the kids just learned about in that episode. And they do that for every episode. So I thought that was really handy. I liked having the discussion questions. Also, if you go online, there is an online adventures course, I believe it's called. They have the answers, the questions and the answers, and they also have additional information. Plus they have more resources of some books that you can look up to study deeper into that time period that you just learned about in that episode. So you can go online and check that out. So I really liked the DVDs. I thought it made history come to life. So what happens is in the DVD, the host, David Stotts, he goes to the places. So like, for example, this one started with Christopher Columbus. So he went to Europe and to the buildings where he lived and where he studied. And he was actually in front of or in those buildings talking about Christopher Columbus and how things came about for him. And so it really did kind of make history come to life because you can imagine that happening right there. And I think the kids really liked that too, that he moves around, there's action. It's not just a textbook that's still with words being told to him, but there was more interaction in it. We also really loved it when I asked my kids to describe this video so that I could relate it to you. They both said not boring. It was not boring at all. It was funny. It helped them to interact better with it. some of it was a little bit of cheesy humor, but it was pretty funny. In every episode, he had some comical parts to it. That does help keep their attention. But it wasn't just all fun. There was education in there too. There's a lot of education, actually. There was some interesting stories and points that I had never really heard before. But it was just interesting, like that Columbus had a son named Diego, and he took him with on some of these things that he did. So I didn't know that before. So it wasn't boring. It was definitely educational. But I would say that it's not for elementary kids. I think that the vocabulary he uses is too advanced for elementary children to be able to get the full comprehension from it that they should. Even my 7th grader, he loves words. He wants to always know what words mean. And so it kind of bugs him if somebody says a word and he doesn't know what it means. He'll just kind of get stuck right there and won't hear anything else they're saying. So for a while, I was having them do vocabulary words too, so that he knew what was coming up. But I stopped doing that after too long. It got to be too much for me. So yes, I wouldn't suggest this for elementary kids, but for middle school and high school, I think this is a good choice. Also, another thing I did is I had my kids take notes. I gave them the remote. They were allowed to stop the DVD so that they could write down things that they found interesting or things that they learned. And they knew that when I came back after the video was done, they were each going to have to tell me 2 things that they learned or found interesting. I also would then at that point go through the discussion questions with them. So I thought that this was a really good DVD or some episodes to go through. And Drive Thru History has a lot of videos, not just on America, but on many things. You can go check them out at their website or go look on YouTube and you can see little snips of videos so you can get the feel for how they are. So I would recommend this to anyone, and thank you so much for watching.